Hello, welcome back to a new live stream. Let me check. We have two people online. Yes, that's more than last time. Cool. Um, so we will probably get right in. So you have an idea of what we will do based on the title. Let me switch the screen. So I prepared a list. I was trying to think if I missed something. So the idea for today is to make a new extension which will allow reporting different kind of uh, information. So it's a lot like the flags extension of Flarum. Um, the difference will be that you will actually be able to report multiple kind of things. Sorry. Um, and so we will start with posts and users. Then we need to be able to choose one reason in a list, and they need to be customizable by the admin. We need to be able to translate those reasons. I also want to keep the history of what was reported and how it was handled. And it needs to be extendable by other extensions that also want to be able to report stuff. So here there are a few things I could add that go with the other things. I want to have user comments, and I want to have moderator notes, I will call them. I want, when the moderator handles the report, I want them to be able to give a note, to add additional information on the ticket. And then we have some secondary requirements. So I have not actually made written everything. So one thing I want to add later is the ability to assign a report to a user. And there were other things I was thinking, maybe have labels. And I also wanted to maybe have categories, like it could go with the labels, like new report. How can I write this? Assigned to me, triaged. I mean, something like some kind of category, so that if you have many reports, you can see which one requires attention. So that's kind of the idea. This is what we will do today. So don't hesitate if you have any question about what I'm doing or about something else, you can leave it in the chat. I try to keep the chat visible on my second screen. And yeah, I guess we will get started. So I was checking if I had another extension that was already doing part of that, because I remember I tried something, but I don't think I have it here. So what we will do, so if I show you just my setup, so you have an ID. So I have one window is Firefox with my beta 15 local Flarum. Here I have the admin. I will also open, I will probably need it, the Font Awesome Icons website. Okay, so that's for the browser. Then I have PHP Storm. And I will show this also. So I have my Workbench folder where I have my extensions on the file system. So we will create a new extension. So the way I will do it, I will copy from another extension. So I could also use the extension generator, but this time I will copy because I have a lot of stuff I want to reuse. So let's copy maybe bookmarks. Let's copy bookmarks. Paste it here. and then we wait, and we wait. So this one I will probably just call Flarum ext reports. Yep. Next, inside of here, I will delete the Git folder, ID folder, so that way I have a new repository and a new project in PHP Storm. Everything else I can probably edit from inside PHP Storm. I will also delete the node modules and yarn.lock, and that way I can reinstall later. So let's open that folder in PHP Storm. Flarum ext reports, open here. Am I still in frame? Sometimes I'm moving with my chair. Yeah. Let me know if you cannot see me or if you cannot hear me. So this is the extension I copied. So will it crash again? No. So the README I will edit later probably, but I will just change the title, report, and this will be for later. I will customize it later. So license is MIT license. Next I will go to composer.json. So here we will customize the information about the extension. So it will be called reports. This will be the name on packagist. Next we can give it a description. So report how can we call this? Like, let user report content. It's very generic. So then requirements is beta 15, but not beta 16. Here we have a requirement for the JSON PHP extension. We will actually keep that because I will need it. Author is me. Here I can customize the URL to GitHub. This I don't have yet. I don't have a discussion for it yet, so I will remove all of that. Call it reports. Namespace will be Clark reports. And then I just need here to have I need to give it a title, category in the admin panel, and an icon. So which icon, that's the question, because I was thinking maybe I can just use the flag icon, but it's already what Flarum is using for the flags extension, so I was not sure if I wanted to do that or not. But there might not be any other good icon. I think I will use the flag icon. It's a very standard icon for reporting stuff. So FAS, FA, flag. This will be the icon. Next, let's go to the JavaScript. So here we have a package.json. This one I will also customize to be my name, even though this value is only used inside of the map file for JavaScript, I think. But I will customize it anyway, and then I can go back to my terminal in the JS folder and run yarn install to install everything that's listed here. And once that's done, then I can launch the yarn dev, which will watch my files and recompile the JavaScript. Okay, and inside of the JavaScript we have some stuff that was left over from the other extension, so I will remove that. I will just keep the initializer and rename it. And for now there will be nothing, and here I will need that, but later. So I will just put that inside of a comment, and yeah. Okay, next. So we have the extend file. I will remove what is not necessary for now. I will customize the namespace. This I can also remove. Okay, and in the src folder, I think I will simply delete everything and I will recreate what we need. Okay, so now we need to talk database. So first step is creating the database table. So just for comparison, I will go to phpMyAdmin and show you what the flags extension looks like. So where is it? Okay, so this is what the flags extension uses. So maybe I can go here. So the flags extension creates a new table that's just called flags. It has an ID auto increment. It has the post ID, which is probably a foreign key. Yeah, I see there is a foreign key here. So there is a foreign key to post. There is a type. So there are multiple things here. Because there is type, reason, and reason detail. And I believe type is a special thing that's used for like when approval creates a flag, it puts the type approval on it. But basically this is not something we will use. I don't know yet how we will handle, like if you want to use approval, then you will need you will need the flags extension. So we will try to not be in conflict with the flags extension, but we will disable some of the flags feature. So type is not something we have to worry about in our case. Then we have user ID, that's who created the report. Then reason, this one is a choice that we get if I go and report something. It might not be enabled. No, it's enabled. Can I not report my own posts, maybe? Was it an option? Yes, okay, so I will enable the option, just so I can see it. Okay, so now I can see flags. So I think this is actually the reason, which one you select here. And then details, reason detail is the comment that appears at the bottom, and it is optional except when you select other. Okay, and then we just have the date. And what happens in Flarum is that when you dismiss a flag, it just gets deleted from the database. But in our case, we want to keep it and write down the date. Okay, so let's do that table. So in my extension I copied, I have already, I will probably copy something else. Yeah, do I have an extension with a table? Yeah, I will just copy from catch the fish, I guess. So here we have some table creation. I will use that code. So first I rename the file I have in my migrations folder. So here you need to start with a date, but then you can name it anything you want, and it just has to be unique inside of your own extension. So this one will be called like create reports table. Then I will copy this code to start with. And so in the up function, I will create a table, so it will be called reports. Now there is a question, do I want to prefix it? I think I will prefix it, it's safer. So if I prefix it with my, but basically this is the name of the extension. That way there is less risk of another extension. If another extension wanted something called reports, then there is less risk of conflict in the database. So ID increment, that's okay. Next, so I want to keep timestamps. Next, we want a reason, so we will create a string reason. So what did I say before? So we will reuse some of what the flags have, and other things we will base on what we have here. So we need to know who created the report. So there will be a user ID. It has to be nullable, because if the user is deleted, we want this to become null. So I'm not sure how I will call the columns, because I actually want two columns. I want one is who resolved it, and one is create. Don't remember how Flarum formats those columns. Like if I go to posts, maybe compare with posts, there is one column for who has hidden, just called hidden user ID. Maybe I will call one user ID and the other maybe resolve. Yeah, maybe I will call it like this. Resolved user ID. Yeah, let's do it like this. Next, I need some foreign keys. Yeah, I'm still missing a lot of columns. Bear with me. So user ID, references, ID on users, on delete, set null. And we need to do the same for resolved user ID. So next, so we will try to sort this a bit. So we will have everything about resolving will be at the end. So we need a timestamp for resolved at, which will be set when this is handled. Next, here we have the reason, but then we also wanted the comment, and we want a text for the moderator notes. I want two different parameters for that. Actually, I might make these nullable. Reason, we will also make it nullable. Null will be other, I guess. And if I compare with flags, I think I have copied everything that was here. So these are called reason and comment in R. This, yes. Oh yes, we need the equivalent of post ID. So what we will do, we want to be able to flag anything. That's the key here. So we will actually design it the following way. We will have a string which will be subject type, and another string which will be subject ID. And what will happen? So we will index those two. Actually, we need some other indexes, maybe one on here and one on here. Like this. So we will actually use subject type, which will contain posts, for example, or it will contain a user, and then we will have an ID. But the ID, I will use a string, because actually all IDs will not be numerical. because I also want to allow reporting stuff that might not be in the database actually. Like I want to be able to report pages later. So the ID can actually be anything. So it will be a string here, and I will keep the default length, which is like 255 characters, I think. So I will not customize the length. I could maybe customize the length of subject type, but I will not. I will keep it like this. I think that's a good start. Later, if we want to be able to assign to a user or use labels, we will need additional columns or even tables, but this will be for another time. And here I already customized it. In the down function, we delete the table if it exists. All good. Next. So how do we handle this? I need to create a few things. I think I will start with the model because that's straightforward. So we need an eloquent model. Extend abstract model from Flarum. I can assign the table. This, and I can add a doc block with the properties. That way I can easily reference them in the code, and PHP Storm will know what this is all about. So subject type, subject ID, then there is user ID, then there is reason, comment, moderator notes, then there will be created at, there will be updated at, and then the user ID, resolved user ID, and then we'll have another resolved at. And with the dates, we need to do a few additional things. We need to enable the timestamps, because in Flarum timestamps are disabled by default, so this will automatically update these two columns when we create or update something. And we also need to add a cast property, and we need to cast resolved at to a date timestamp, like this. I don't know why it's complaining, because it wants me to... don't understand why. No, okay, so I'm on PHP 8, but I will downgrade to PHP 7.4 and it should stop complaining, or maybe it's 7.3. Yeah, PHP Storm is not happy because I did not declare the type, but actually I don't think I can, because I'm extending something that doesn't say the type. So yeah, anyway, I will leave it like this, but I don't like having so many warnings. I thought that going down, or maybe I can go to 7.3. Yeah, we will target PHP 7.3 now. Now it's happy. Okay. Next, we can create some controllers, because we will need some controllers. We will also need some serializers. We will need just one, I guess. Don't even know if it's not even worth creating a namespace for that. You can create the report serializer. No, let's still create. Let's create a folder to keep things organized. Maybe there will be other serializers in the future, like this. So the serializer extends abstract serializer, which is inside of Flarum like this. Next we implement the abstract and the attributes will be so we can tag here what this is. So model will actually be a report and it will be an object of type report like this. And again, we cannot add the type because then it will break the signature of the parent. I don't know why PHP Storm complains about missing return type when we are extending something, but anyway. And then here we will add some data. So what is best? I think I will just add for now the reason. We'll just add everything that's text for now. And maybe the date created at what in Flarum often these are camel case and the database is snake case, but anything is fine, but we'll do that. And here we can do, I think there is a format date function and I can use it to add the date like this. And then we can also already add a relationship called user, and we can have a has1 relationship. Next here we need actually support as a parameter, pass it here, and then I never remember which are the parameters. So has1, model, serializer, and relation. So serializer will be the basic user serializer from Flarum, and we should not need to pass the name of the relation because it will automatically use this name. And we also need the same relationship on the report object, so public function user. So for now this is here this is mostly Laravel stuff, like this is a model and a relationship. And the other thing with the serializer is something with Flarum to define how it's returned from the API. So here we have one. So here I think we need to give the class. And actually I think it's all we need because everything else will be automatically guessed. So I think that's fine. I can also add a property with type user for the user relationship like this. All good. Let's continue. So I think we have the serializer ready for the first thing, and then we will do some we will create some controllers to manipulate the reports. So we will have a report. How can I name them? I think I will put I will make report the second word. So create report controller. There will be an update report controller, and there will be a delete report controller, and there will be a list report controller, at least. There could also be a show report controller, but I don't think I need it. No, I will actually need it because of the way I want to do it. So there will be a show report controller. Okay, next let's do the list report controller first, maybe. So we can extend the abstract list. Is it called list or index? List controller from Flarum. Add the stubs. Next, I just need to say that the serializer is report serializer. And then the data, I can just return, for now, I will return everything. So return report all. So I return all the models and Flarum will automatically use this serializer to format them. That's all I need inside of here for now. Next, I will do the create. So extends abstract, is it called create? Yeah, abstract create controller. Implement the stub. Again, we will say that the serializer will be report serializer. And the data, we will need to create a new report equals new report. For now, we will not go too complicated. We will return the new report. And in the report, so we need to assign the user. So assign, how is it called? Attach, I think. No? I always forget how the methods are called. Is it not attached? Or maybe it's just PHP Storm not liking it. I always forget the name of the methods because there is attach, there is save. But maybe it's because I don't have the correct one. Maybe it's not has one, it's belongs to. I think it's belongs to that I need. Belongs to user, because then I should have access to attach. No? What's happening? Let's go to our friend, the Laravel documentation. So if you have problems with relationships, you can check the Laravel documentation. So ideally you want to check for now, I think we are on 7. I think you need to check the 7 version, but it's very similar between versions. So we want a 1-to-1. And yeah, so it's not has one, it's belongs to. And then is it save? Belongs to? Oh, it's associate. Okay. So attach is for the many-to-many, I think. Associate is just for this. So here we will take the request and get the attribute actor. Yeah, it's not ideal like this because, yeah, if it's a guest, it will not work. So actually I will do it like this, and if actor, so here I will just put some comments so that PHP Storm knows it's a user, and here I can check is guest, and if it's not a guest, then we will assign the user, and we will also just do a quick and dirty thing for the report comment, and we will set the comment based on the request get parsed body, and we will just, for now, we will just do it like this. If there is a comment attribute on the body, we will take that value and put it inside of comment. We will add some validation later, and I think we also need, maybe let's already use data.comment, because that's what will be used later when we use the correct JSON API format. Okay, so now we are able to create the reports and list the reports. So I think it's not bad. Now, I still cannot really show you anything, so we will continue with the code, and as soon as I can, I show you how it looks. So next we need to register these controllers. So let's go to extend, and here I can use the extend routes. I can extend the API routes, and I can add. So in which order do I add them? I can add get maybe first. So reports. I need to decide how to name them. I don't know if I want to prefix the routes, because I prefix the table in the database. I could also prefix the routes. I don't know if I want to do that or not. I will prefix the name for now. So reports dot index, and here I will use the controllers list report controller, and then I can make the other ones. So I will have post reports. This one I will call store. It will use create report controller. Then I can already add the other. So here I need to add, I think it's like this. I need to add an ID and with a regular expression to validate how it looks. So I think it's just like this. I will again check with my friend Catch the Fish. Here we can see some controllers. Yeah, it's the same. Okay, so reports like this. So this one will be, yeah, so actually it's not get. So no, there is get. It will be show report controller. Then I can copy this and have it 2 more times. And I will have the put or patch. Maybe patch. Let's use patch. This will be the update report controller, and then we will have delete. It will be the delete report controller, and I need to also have unique names like this. So now my API is ready. I have not implemented all the controllers. Just for now, I just implemented create and list. Next, here we have everything I think we need. We will create something in the front end so we can test it. So let's create a components folder, and let's create the modal that will be used for reporting something. So report modal. And in here, let's just check how it looks in flags. So flags is something like this. We will do something similar. We will have a few additional stuff, I think. Yeah, let's do this. So export default class report modal extends modal. We'll import modal from Flarum component modal. I still don't see any comment in the chat. I hope you can hear me fine and that you can follow. Let's go on, but I think the sound seems good from here. Let's go back here. So the modal, and here we will just return for now, just return hello world. And yeah, I have my modal. Next, I want to open it somehow. So where do we add this modal? I think I will add it for now on the post as well. So I will use the same place as flag. So how to know how to insert there. Well, the easiest is just to go to the flags extension and look for it. So if I go here, forum, add flag control probably, and here we can see there is extend post controls, user controls, then there is a check for permission, and then there is a button. So I will copy just this. Oh, you say the audio is low. Maybe. But it seems to be the correct level on my side, so I'm not sure what to do. I will just raise it a little bit, but yeah, I think it's the usual level. So yeah, extend. So we will import that stuff. So import app from Flarum app. Import extend from Flarum extend, and import post controls. So this one I will copy from here. Post controls, so I know where it comes from. Import post controls from Flarum utils post controls. I will put this one at the top because I prefer it like this. Okay, and then here we can add items.add, call it report, and then we also need the button. So I will copy the button, import button from Flarum button, and here I will use the button. And in the button I will write report. Let's just call it report for now. Here I can have a to-do translation. And then here in the button we want an icon, FIS, FA, flag. Let's test if... no, let's do everything. Let's add the on-click as well. And when you click, app.modals.show, and in the modal we will show the report modal. So now I think we have something that should kind of work. Let's try it. So the first step is actually to install the extension, because I have not done that yet. So I will go back to my beta 15 folder, open a terminal, composer require the name of my extension, so Flarum ext reports, and I will install the dev version. So now we just say symlinked from workbench folder. And now if I go back to my admin panel, it should be somewhere. So it should be under feature, and there will be something called reports, hopefully. Okay, so it's in other extension. So I probably misspelled the category. I think it's just feature. So if I want to see the new, if I want to fix where it is, I need to remove it. So I need to do composer remove. And then add it again so that composer updates the information. So now if I refresh, no, where is it now? Oh yes, it's here, okay. So reports, let's try to enable this. Okay, good thing, there has not been any error. We can check if the table exists. So Clark reports, and we can see here we have a table, but it's empty. And here we have the columns that we defined. So all good. We have the table. And yeah, now let's check if we have the button. So refresh the front end. Yeah, if you remember, we still have the script. We have the JavaScript dev command running. So this should compile everything. We can see there is a button, and then I will open the developer console in case there is any error. And if I click report, Modals is undefined, so maybe it's not modals plural, it's just modal singular. Let's see that report. Okay, and it opens the modal and we have the hello world. Hello JavaScript OP. Glad you could catch the stream. We have just, wait, no, we have not just started, it's already been half an hour, but we are getting to the front end. So yeah, now we will customize this modal so that it looks like a report modal. So yeah, so we need a title and we need to do some kind of stuff with the body. So let's go to the report modal class. Next we have the title. And content will need to have a modal body element with the stuff. So let's just do it like this for now. I will just add a global M so that PHP Storm is happy with my call to the M function for Mitchell. Let's see how it looks like now. So, okay, now it looks already a lot better. Let's start to do some translations maybe. So, yeah, we will need a lot more translations later. But if I go to resources, we have the English file. So this is what I copied from the other extension, but this one will be called reports. This I will customize later. It's in the admin. Here I will have, let's have a namespace for modal. Let's just call it report in the title. And then we will have also a links and, or maybe call it controls. Post, and here we have report post, report user. Let's do it like this for now. And I will use that translation, so app.translator.trans, and then I can use this name .forum.modal.title. And I can also import app. Like this. So now I should have a title that comes from the translation. No, it's not that one. Report. So now this comes from the translation. And I can also use a translation for my little button on the post. So here, report, I can replace it with controls.post. Like this. Now I have my report post and then my modal. Now let's put some kind of input. Oh, I need to check the chat. JavaScript OP. No, I'm not German. I'm from Switzerland, but from the French part of Switzerland. But I do understand a bit of German. But yeah, mostly French and English. I want to have the minimal feature. So previously we implemented just the comment. So I will just implement that for now. So I will put an input inside of here. So let's add a text area with a form control. I never remember how it's spelled. So I want a form control text area. I will map the value here. So what I need to override the onInit. Inside of onInit, I will create a property for my comment. It will be just a string on the object. Then the value of the text area will be this value, and when it changes, on change, we will listen for the event, and then this .comment will become event.target.value. And so now this achieves a binding, two-way binding between this variable and this text area. For now I will keep it something like this. Next I will need a button, so let's import button. Here let's add the button.component, and the button will be of type submit, and that's about it. I need a text, so let's just call this one submit in the translation, and I will add that translation here. So submit, for now let's just call that submit, but I will probably name it something different later. I didn't want to create something. What happened? Did I break the forum? No, it's back. Okay, so if I open my modal, now I have my input and I have my submit button, but nothing is styled like I want. So I think we'll just test. I think it's called like this. Yeah, okay. So I will use the correct class name. So form control is a class name from Flarum. I will also use a form group. This is also a class from Flarum, and I will actually put each one of these inside a form group. And the button, I think I also need to give it a class name. Class name of button primary. And I can also use button block, so it will look something like the other one. Let's try that. Report post. Okay, so now it's looking like actually something. Does it focus automatically or not? Yes, that works. So Flarum automatically, when you open a modal, it will automatically focus the first input. So because I created an input, automatically it's focused when I open. Now we need to do something on submit. So you can see something happens when I click submit already, but what happens, it refreshes the page actually. Because how it works is like Flarum actually in the modal, you can see there is a form. So this is a form already, and Flarum handles the on-submit of that form. But because I don't do anything, it submits like a regular get form and refreshes the page. So to catch this form submitting, we can actually use the on, I think it's called onSubmit. There is a function that we can override on the modal class, and here we can get the event. So what we do event.prevent default. And next we can store our report. So to do that, we do app.store. So how will I do it here? Can I just do it with store? I think I can do it with request. Can check maybe again. Let's go back to catch the fish, because I know catch the fish is a good extension, because if you don't know about it, it's just a silly April Fool's extension that I made, but it's not that silly because actually if you go to the source code, it does almost everything you might need in an extension. So if you create a simple extension, chances are what you need is inside of this extension. So you can go and copy almost anything. So in this case, I'm creating a new object in the database from the JavaScript side. So here we can see, for example, when I create a new round in that extension, so there must be, I think there is a modal, so there must be a new round modal, for example, and here we can see how I did it. Oh, it's a bit more complicated because there are actually components that are reused. So I go here. yeah, it's a bit different actually. It does not match exactly. So when we save, we use the save on a round, and the round is an object that's created. Yeah, you cannot directly reuse that. But what I will do is, I think I can just do it like this: app.store.create record, and then .save, and then I can pass the attribute here. So here I can have comment, and it will be the value of this .comment. Then here I can do then, and here I will have access to my report. So I will just log whatever is returned. Actually, there is just one more thing we need, is this. We need to create the model for the front end. So to do that, I will create a new folder, call it models. Next, I can create a new JavaScript files for report, export default class report, and here I will do extends model, not modal, model. Model, I can import it from Flarum, import model from Flarum. I think it's just like this. And then here we can have, I need to define my properties, so I will have model.attribute comment. I think it's like this. I hope I remember correctly. But again, if I don't remember, I can just go to catch the fish, then go here, models, and here I have some examples of models. And yeah, that's the same thing. Something else I can customize is the API endpoint, but right now I don't need it because I used the exact same name that it will expect. It will expect that the name of the class will be the same. Yeah, anyway, this should work. Now we need to register that. So here we can actually do app dot, but again, I'm not sure. So I will just check in catch the fish, go to add models, and here we can see that's how we register a model. So I will copy that, app.store.models, and then here I need to give it a name. So I think I will just call it reports for now. Just call it reports, and it will match to the report class that I just created. Okay, and now I can use that name, the name I put in as the key. Actually, if it's like that, I can just do it like this. Now I will use that name, and I will use it inside of the modal as the string here. Create a new record, so it will create a new reports class locally in the browser, and then it's just so we can call the save function on it. So then it automatically guesses the URL of the API, then it saves, and it will automatically read again the data, and I will log it. So let's try that. Report post, submit. Okay, so we don't see anything. Let's check the console. There is an error. That's the best kind of thing. Let's see. So there was an API request made to reports, contain data attributes comment, reply. Okay, so I think I see the problem. Basically everything is null, including the type and ID. I'm not sure why the ID is null. Oh, I think I see. Okay, so this is kind of a downside in Flarum. We will improve that in the future, but like this error that you see in the JavaScript is completely useless because yeah, good luck finding what it means. But I have the experience. I know that I have already experienced this before. I see that it happens inside of push payload, And since it happens inside of push payload, there is a high chance this is because the payload is broken, and the payload is what is returned by the API. So I go to the network, check the reports, check the API request. Then here I see the response, and that's what Flarum was trying to parse. But there was a problem, and everything is null, so that's not good. So the reason type is null is because we didn't specify the type inside of the serializer. So actually, here I'm supposed to add a type property, and it needs to be the same that I used in the front end, so reports. And the other problem was that there is no ID. Technically, this will not create an error, I think, but this is not normal. Why there is no ID is probably because I'm not actually saving my report. So I create a new report, a new class, then I assign the user, then I assign the value, then I return it, but I don't save it. So I need to add report save, like this. And here actually it's not correct either, it must be attributes attributes.comment. Okay, new try. Let's refresh this. Report post. Submit. Okay, so this time there is no error and we have something logged. Let's just check again the network. So we can see this time the response is a lot better because now we have the type, we have an ID, we see the comment that we sent, and not much else. We have the date that was automatically set, the other things are null. Okay, but now, of course, the modal needs to close or something. We need to improve that. Let's just check that it's in the database. So now if I go to my table, we can see that what we just sent has been created in the database. All right, now let's do a bit of cosmetic in the front end, and then we will go with the other features that we need. So let's make it so it shows that it's loading when we submit, because that's an important part of the user experience. So I need to go back to the modal. So now I create a new parameter. I will use actually, so I will use two parameters. I will use loading. So loading will indicate when we are trying to save. And we will also have another one. I don't know if, no, I will do that later. Because we can also do a dirty attribute to only enable the button when we do something, but actually I will do that later if necessary. So what I will do with that attribute, so when we save, I will actually set that one to true, and then when it's saved, I will set it back to false. Like this. And something else we need is, here we need to manually tell Flarum, or actually Mitchell, to redraw the page. Because here we don't need to, because on submit will automatically trigger a redraw in Mitchell, but here we need to redraw after telling loading false. But we still need to do something with that value, because right now we are not reading it. So what we will do, actually the submit button has a loading attribute. So we can set that value to there, and automatically it will disable the button and show a spinner. And what we will also do is make the fields disabled while it's loading. That way you don't accidentally try to edit this value. So now if we refresh and try again, so now if I put some stuff, it will probably be quick. Yeah, it was a bit too quick. We can try, we can do it a few times, but what I can do is actually slow down the network. So let's go super slow. Now we have time to see that there is a spinner and it disables everything while you cannot click too many times. Like, yeah. Okay, so now we have that, and what we can do is close the modal. No, there is something else we need to do first. The the loading stuff, actually there is one other case, it's the error. So if there is an error, let me throw an error. So if I go back to the code, I go here, and if I throw an error, let's just throw an error like this. Now you will see that the error appears here, but then you cannot go back to editing your stuff. It seems like I can still click the submit button actually. It's not really disabled. Yeah, so what we need to do, first I need to properly, apparently I also need to do that if I don't want the button to be clickable at all. And what I need to add here is a catch, or just, I think it's called error in JavaScript. So I also need to catch the error, and if there is an error, I need to also set loading to false, and then I will just throw the error again. So if I just change that, now if there is an error, I should not be prevented from trying again. It's a bit slow, yes, because because I did not set back the speed. Let's go back to normal speed in the browser. Report post. So now if I have an error, I have the opportunities to submit again. All good. And last thing, so actually the report here, we don't really need it. Don't think we didn't need it at all. So I will just not use it, and then I will just do app.modal.close. And here we don't really even need to set the loading back to false, because since we close the modal, it does not matter. So actually I will just do it like this. So report, blah, 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 submit. So there is an error. Let's assume that now there is no longer an error. I will go and remove my throw here. Now I submit again, it submits and closes. So that's good for the modal. Now what we need to add some more stuff. So we need to actually save which post was reported, because if I go to my database, right now it's still empty, the subject, type and ID. I also have the user, but it's not shown back. Reason, we need to add the reason, and then we will need to add the user interface for moderators, but that's the second part. So it's already been a bit more than an hour, so we will probably do a quick break at one time. So I will try to do the subject type, I think, and then we will do a small break, and I will be back later for another hour. So let's do the type and ID. So how will I do this? So what we need in the modal, we need to know what the type and what the ID is. But how do we get that information? So actually this will have to be done here. When we add the user control, we have a parameter which is the post. So we need to pass some additional attribute to the modal. So this is done by using an object here. And then here we will actually use type. Type will be posts, and ID will be post.id, like this. And I think that's all we need at this stage. Then we will use those attributes here. So here we will have subject type, which will be this.atch.type. So this is how we can read the attribute that was passed to the modal here. It's inside of the attributes object, and then we will have subject ID, and it will be the ID. Yeah, like this. Now let's test if the values are actually sent. So let's go back to the forum. Report post, send. So now we don't see much here, but if I go to the console, go to the request, you can see that I had subject type post and subject ID 555. So I guess this is the post 555. We can check just by going to the source code, and here we can see the data ID 555. So it works. I don't know what I have. I have a warning? No, it's just because there is a warning in the console. Yeah, that's all right. So now it's sent, but we need to save it in the database. So let's go back to the create report controller. So here we need to add report subject type. So yeah, for now, let's continue to do the unvalidated solution. We will do the validation later. So right now I can just do it like this, subject type, subject ID. And now if I do it again, submit and go to my database, you can see it's saved, subject type, subject ID. But there is still no validation. So right now, anyone can of course do something like this, modify the request. I can say that the ID is now potato, and I can save the potato ID, and of course it works. So we don't want that to be possible, because then it will break everything else we have in the backend. So we will need to fix that. So now we will do a quick break, and I will be back. We will still do 1 hour and a half, maybe more of that. I still have a lot of features to do, so as long as there are people watching, I will probably continue. So yeah, a quick break. I will leave you with my little break screen, and I will see you in 5 minutes. And we are back. Let's switch to the screen again, and let me check if we lost. If we lost anyone. No, we didn't lose anyone. So let's continue with our 3 live viewers. We finished with me saying that we still did not have any kind of validation, so anyone could save potato if they wanted as the ID. Now, what I want to do actually before we do the validation, I want to do, if we go back to the list of stuff, I want to do the customizable reasons. So, it's important to say that in Flarum, where is it? If I go to Flarum's flag feature, this is hard-coded. You cannot change. I mean, you can rename the options with linguist, for example, but off-topic is actually saved as off-topic in the database. Inappropriate is always inappropriate, and spam is always spam. And you cannot change this list. But me, I want the list to be customizable, because there will be so many different kind of resources that you can flag. You need to be able to customize this list. And the other aspect, which is below, is that it needs to be translatable, because Flarum, this is the benefit of how Flarum did it, is because since it's hard-coded, then there is a translation for each one, so you can customize the translation. But in our case, because you will be able to dynamically create options, I also want these options to be translatable. So what we will do, we will actually use a setting, because maybe I should write it down, like, so we have saving the, what was it called? Reason. So there are a few things we could do here. So we could actually save them in the database, or we can use a setting. So how can I write this down? Maybe I need to use a list, because if I do it like this, maybe. So these are the two options. Either we create a new database table that is called options, and then that table, I can actually even use a relationship to map which reason is assigned to which report. So pros, let's just write everything down. Can I do it like this? So the pro of the database table is that it's simple to do. It's simple to code. I could simple to code. It's a very good option. But is there another pro I can put? Let's just put it like this for now. There are some downsides. One is, in my case, there is a special requirement actually that I have not put in the requirement, is that I will release I will use this extension in a website that will use continuous deployment. So what I will actually do is that I will have a staging website and I will have a production website, and I want to have the same list of reasons on both of them. So if I put it in the database table, it's difficult to put under version control. So we cannot easily put it in version control. this is in opposition to putting that inside of a string inside of the settings, is that we can use version control, because then we can use an extender to hard code the setting from extend.php. So we can so yeah, that's one of the pro cons. Another con is translations, because we don't know how many translations there will be. We don't know the language in advance. I don't want to hard code the languages. I don't want to make one column for English, one column for French. Then it's not flexible at all. So translations would need, how do we say it? Like, we can. So translations will need to be put inside of some kind of JSON or other kind of string column, and then it comes back to basically what we will do in settings, because in settings, yeah, it will be a JSON string inside of a setting. And here we have pros, so we can use the version control by overriding the setting. Another pro is that no need for REST API, so we don't need to create API endpoints for each kind of option, like create, delete. We don't need to create that. But negative is that it's harder to change the format later, because so we cannot put constraints because between information. We cannot easily change the format because it will be a string with JSON. So if we wanted to change the format later, we cannot just use a migration. We will need a migration, but the migration will need to parse the JSON and then decide what to do based on what it finds in the JSON. But that's basically it. So I already made my mind before the stream. I want to use the setting. So we will use, I think we will use one setting for each type of thing that can be reported. And inside of that setting, so maybe I can write it in a new slide, so you have some kind of idea of what I want to do. So we will create a setting that will be called something like my prefix reports dot and dot post, for example. And this setting will contain something like this. So let's just use a mono font. Let's just use a mono font like this. So so what we will do is something like, what? I want the normal quotes. Maybe I should just write it in there, but yeah, okay, like this. So what we will have something like reasons. Oh, I can do that like this. Okay, and then we will have a list of reasons, and each reason will actually be an object. And here we will have something called, we will do a key. That's not a good solution. I should do it in another way. We'll have a key, and this one will be, for example, off topic, and then we will have my ID is to do it something like this. something like this, how we want to store it. And then I can just copy this. So that's kind of my idea. I want to store, for each one, I want reasons, then a table, and the table we have, it will say which, so basically this will define the order in which they are shown. We can have multiple reasons, and then each one will have a key, and then the other attributes will be the translations. Yeah, that's how I want to do it. And then we might have later other kind of settings at this level, so that's why we don't start with the array directly. Or maybe I could also save it inside something like, maybe I can do it like this, and it's even better. I'm breaking everything. Maybe I should do it like this. I think I will do that. Okay, let's do that. So now I need to build some kind of admin interface that will be able to understand that. So it's not the first time I do this. If we want to find an example, I should have written that down in advance. So which extension did I do? I need to think, because not all of my extensions are public. So let me check. So I will go to my public profile and just check which one of these extension uses a JSON-based settings. So I think group list is a good example of an extension that uses the other option. Group list actually uses tables. Where is it? It actually uses a table for the settings. So it's a good example for the other one, but in my case, I think popular, so that's the one. So popular discussion badge. This one is an extension that uses JSON for storage, because there is a column, but it's for something else. If I go to the source code, admin, index, yeah, we can. So this is this stuff. So this is a setting. So this is not a setting modal because it's using the new settings in beta 15. So we can see in the setting, we read a setting here with this.setting. Then we parse the value, put it inside of a column, a variable, and then everything we have below. If I do a search for this, so then everything that's shown here is based on that variable, and when you change something, for example here, when you edit this value, it will set the new value on the object, and then the object is serialized back to JSON inside of the column. So this is what we will do as well. We might even be able to copy this, because this is a nice UI. Maybe I can show you this. Don't know if you have seen that extension. I don't even know if it's on Discuss. Yes, it is now, but maybe you have not seen that extension. Let me show you. So if I have it, yes, I have it here. So I quite like this UI. So this is not what we need exactly here, but you can see here we have a conditions table, and here you can add new conditions. You can also delete them. You cannot, oh yes, you cannot reorder them here because the order is not important, but us, we will need the order. But basically, yeah, that's a nice little UI. And it's all based on everything inside of here is inside of a single setting, which is in JSON. But I think I have another example where I actually have reordering. So which one would it be? I think it's this one. I think it's this one. Group invitation. Do I have it? Ah, it might not be compatible with beta 15. Let me show you that one. Beta 14. Oh, we are back in time. Invitation, group invitation here, so let's enable this one. No, that's not a good example. This one uses a database, and I don't think it can be reordered. Which one was it? I remember having one extension where you can reorder the stuff in JSON, but yeah, I will probably not find it. Don't know which one it was. I have too many extensions. Yeah, anyway, we will use the popular extension as a base and work from that. So let's create the little editor. So what I will do, I think I will just copy all of this. I will copy all of this. Do I keep the prefix? Yes, let's copy absolutely everything. So go back to admin. Okay, so now this one will be called, so let's just call it reports. Use reports here, prefix. Like this. Then we have a list, but the list will be different. So here we will do for now posts dot how did I call this? Post dot reasons, and we will rename this one reasons. So I will try to explain just what is happening here as I do it. So so the code at the start is just some imports. Here we have some constants that will be used to create the strings for the translations and settings. Then we have an initializer, and then we have the call. This is the API to register settings for your extension. So we say that we want to add new settings for this extension, which is the very extension we are working on. Then we do register setting with a callback. And then inside of that callback, we must return a template. We must return some mutual template that will render our settings. And here at the start, we will create a variable. We will attempt to load JSON from the settings. We parse the JSON, we put it inside of the variable, but we catch any error because if it happens that there is invalid JSON, we still want to be able to save new values. So if it's invalid, we just ignore and this will stay undefined. Then if it's not an array, we make it into an array. I don't know if I want to start with an empty array or not. I will start with an empty array here, I think. So now, after that point, we are certain that reasons contain an array, and either it comes from the settings or it's the default empty array. Then here we will return some templates. So actually I will remove, so I don't need all of this stuff. So for now I will just keep one form group. This one will be called reasons. And then we will have a table, and the table is created with all of the lists from the array reasons. Then here we will have reason like this. And now we can simplify this a bit. So I need a key. So yeah, here we had some text in so here we had the or and all of that text, but we don't need all of that stuff. If I go back to reports, where is it? Here. So I just want a table. I want a header. Yeah, okay. So let me fix this. So we will remove this stuff. We can remove almost everything. I will keep the delete button. I will remove all the other columns. I will keep just one. I will keep just one input and nothing of the other stuff. Like this. Just a column with an input. The input will be text. We'll remove this stuff. The value will be reason.key. And then when you change it, I will do reason.key equals value. And then I will save. I need to change this. So the full name of the settings was like this. I actually needed to change it here and here. And here we have there was a placeholder. We don't need the placeholder. There was a disabled property. We don't need the disabled property. We can really simplify this. We don't need a lot of that. And here we can just create a new one with key. And that's it, I think. We can do it like this. We can even remove the help text. Here we can have comma like this. Okay, so I think we have copied everything that was really required. Let's try that. Moment of truth, refresh. Hey, there is no error at least, so yeah. If I add, I can click add and there is new line, and if I refresh, no, it's not there anymore, so it's not saved correctly, or maybe not at the correct place, but we will see. So let's try to add some of the translations that we need. So settings, so here we will have so let's just call this one reasons. Then we have how can I call this? Yeah, for now let's keep it like this. I will have header. Header, I will have key. Let's do it like this. Was there a translation for delete? No, apparently not. So that's all right. So my table, I want to add a headline in the table. Then th and like this. Header.label. Okay, so I hope it's making some sense. So my table will have 3 columns. It's not looking like much. Did I have some special CSS in I need to check if I can copy some CSS from the other extension. So this was a popular discussion. Let me check if I can find some interesting CSS. So I think I will copy this. I will create an admin.less file. can just target my reports page container. I don't know if I need to tweak that, so for now I will comment that out, but I need the table to be 100% with. That I don't need, I think, and some padding here, and this I don't really need either. So let's just have that CSS and register that CSS in extend. So in the admin frontend extender, I add some CSS, and here I just need to give the path resources less admin.less. So now I should have okay, so it's still not very pretty, but oh no, it's that. I was pretty sure there was a width that was not 100%, but apparently not. So we will need this just so it looks kind of nice. So max 800 pixels. Okay. So now, oh, there was some logic so that you could not delete the last one. I don't want that because I want to be able to have no reasons. So I can remove that. Okay, so it's kind of looking like something. It's still very horrible, but th, I want the header to be aligned left. Okay. Yeah, it will work. It's kind of okay. So this will be the key, and then we need the label. So I will add another input for the label. So I will actually copy this. So here we will have some challenge because right now, so I will hard code English. I think that's all I need for this to kind of work. Okay, so I don't see the paddings at all. Padding. Oh, there is only vertical padding. What if I do it like this? Okay, so it kind of looks like something. let's keep it like this. It will work. So we have the key and we have the label. Now I just need to check if it is saved at all or not. So let's. What? Oh, okay. So if I add a new line, no, I don't see any request. Oh, yes, because I still need to click save actually. So yeah, that's why. So if I just do this test, save changes, if I check the request, you can see that I have my key here, and then inside of here is JSON that was encoded, and it looks okay, and it reloads when I refresh. So not bad. It seems to be working, so we just need to not forget to save. Okay, so now, yeah, that's quite good. Next, I want to do a selector for the language, because I could just show as many inputs as there are languages. I don't know if I want to do that, because yeah, that's kind of my problem with linguist. Maybe I can show you linguist. Where is it? So in linguist, there is one line for each language. The problem is that the more language you have, the more complex the UI becomes, and don't know what's the best interface is, because my particular website will have 4 languages. So problem is that it takes a lot of space quickly. So I would prefer to have a a drop down and you choose the language. Or maybe I only show one language and you can click to expand it. I don't know which is best. Yeah, I think I will try the drop down, and if it does not work, well, we will do something else. So, oh yeah, but we will need a component because so the ID I don't have anything to draw here, but I want to do a split drop down, and in the drop down you can choose between the language, and then it changes what is in the input in the text there. One problem is that do I want to have all the languages on the page change at once, or do I want to have each field where I can have a drop down? So, because if I want a drop down in each field, then I need a custom component so that I can save the state of that drop down for that particular place. So I think I will do something like that. Yeah. Yeah, let's just try to do it because I need some kind of stuff. So let's create a new component in the admin panel. So components, and here I will have new class. It will be localized input. Let's do it like this: export default class localized input. What I will do, I will not use a Flarum component, I will just use a Mithril component. That way I don't need to call the parent or anything like that. So then I can just do oninit. I don't need to care about calling super.oninit. I can just have this dot local, but local I need to get the local. So to get the local, I will get the current local, I guess. So let's just check. It's somewhere inside of Flarum. I think we have access to the local. Is it called just local? Yeah. Let me check something. What's happening? Wait. My phone is acting up. Yeah. So I was trying to figure out how we know the current local. I don't know if we can get it in the admin panel because no, it must be somewhere. It must the translator must have access to this value. Let me check. I just need to send something. Oh, it's not working. Because here we have local. And where is it set up? I don't know where this particular value is set up. Just I want to send something on my phone, but it's so slow that nothing happens. So local. I don't remember how we access the local. So I will go to the source code of Flarum. JavaScript. Yeah, because there is a local selector. Oh, it's app.data.local. Let's check if this works. Does it work in the admin panel? Yes, it works in the admin panel. Okay, so that's how we get the current local. Okay, so what I will do. So when we initialize this input, we will read that value and it will be the local. Then we will have a view. The view will be, so I think I will use the select. do I still have the select somewhere? Here, I will copy that. So import the select, then I will use select.component, and I will use an input form control like this. And then that's the challenge. I need to have the value. So how I will do that? I will use vnode. So vnode.attributes.value, but then I will read the value that has the key of the current local and default to empty string, and on change I will call vnode.h.onChange, but onChange will be called with the local and the new value, and the new value will come from event.target.value. The way I do it, this component is stateless. No, it's not stateless. I mean, this component has a state, but everything the state is only about the local that is currently selected in the dropdown. This component is not responsible at all for the state of the settings. So here we read directly from the settings that are passed to that component. And when it's modified, we just call a callback on where that component is used. We don't handle any of the saving of the settings here. So we just do it like this. Next, here we need to actually create a list of the locals. So to do that, actually we can reuse what is here. So in Flarum creates a list of all the locals using this nice code. So we will actually here there is a select dropdown. Maybe I should use that one. Select dropdown. Yeah, let's use the same stuff that Flarum. So this code that I'm looking at here inside header secondary, it's the code that handles this component in Flarum. So basically I just want to use the same. Yeah, not exactly the same. I don't want the name as a full name. I just want the 2 letters. Yeah, we will try it like that. So let's go back here. So I will actually create my dropdown. So maybe I can do it like this. Next I need a button, and I need my select dropdown. Let's use that one instead. What did I do? Broke something here. I took too much? Okay, now it's good. So I actually want something like this. Let's try it like this. So select drop down, then I have the list of links. So then we do a loop inside of the locals. I will import app like this. Next, we will actually not use the same logic as here. We will just use this.local equals local. And I think we can do it something like this. Then I will just use this. We'll compact all of this. Then technically we should add a check for has own property local. If there is no property like this, we continue. This will make PHP Storm happy here. Okay, So now this code is kind of safe. And I think I will need some kind of class name because I will need to customize the look. So this will be called report localized input, and it's a class name. Okay, let's try that. So now the localized input, I will use it instead of this. So here I will use localized input like this. I need to import it. Yes, I can remove the class name. I can remove. I'm not changing the correct thing. That one is the button to delete. So this is where I want to change it. So localized input. Then this one value will be just reason, like this. And on change, we will actually receive what I sent before. So we will have local and value. And then we will do reason local equals value, and we will save. Okay, let's try that. So suspense. So it's not too bad. So we have the input, and now, so if I try, so if I write test, okay, so it's not a good start because it's not visible anymore once I type it. So local value this.local. So something is not working. Okay, so I cannot change here. So maybe there is a redraw problem. So let's check if is everything being redrawn every time. No, it does not seem. I check if there is a flicker here to say that this component was recreated, but it's not the case. So it means my component must be working, but now, so the state is not changing when I click something else. So I will try to fix that. So when I click a button, it should set my local to the new value. It should set the value to this. And then it's supposed to somehow redraw. But I will do some logs. So this.log local. So I will log which local is currently rendered in the input. So I have English. Okay, so now I have French. So this is a redraw. This is a problem with something else. Or maybe this is maybe the split drop down is the problem. Does it refresh when something changes? No, but here it's not updated either. Like French does not have the active no, it's still English is still marked as active. So something is not redrawing. Don't know. There are so many odd things with these drop downs. Like I go to the source code because it's using some very unusual way to decide what is visible inside of here. It reads the children, but it's not a very pretty way of using Mitchell, but it works. Then I don't like how it works with the init attributes either, so maybe there is a problem there. Because there is some stuff with active. Yeah, there is something here trying to look for which one is active, but it's looking inside of the attributes. Don't know if I can reliably use this. Why does it not change? It's because this. Oh, okay. So no, I see. So why it visually does not change is because it's still checking against the global local. I forgot to update that. So here we need to actually check if the current local in the loop is the same as this.local. Okay, so now can I go back to the window? Yeah. Now the drop down. Okay, the drop down now works. Okay, so that's a good thing. Now why is the text disappearing? So what we will do is add some logs. So in onChange, I will log the arguments to see what happens. So now I have arguments. What? Shouldn't it log an array? Or is it empty? Let's log the two things. So okay, so here we have a problem. So the value is sent, but we have undefined as the local. So let's check that. So here, this.local. Oh, okay, so that's because I need to use an array function to preserve the this value. If I do it like this, then it should work. So okay, so now I have a value, but if I just write this is English in English, now I can switch to French, but the English value is still there. If I go back to English, if I go to French, then if I write some text here, then I can switch between the two. Yes, that's good. And if I save and refresh the page, does it still work? English, French. Good. Okay, that's perfect. Next, I just want to make this look somewhat good. So, oh no, there was something else. I wanted to simplify here. Just want to show I just want to show the two letters. So I don't have the choice. I wanted to maybe show the full text here, but the simple text in the label here, but cannot do that with this component because it always uses the same value. So what I will do, instead of doing it like this, I will just use local and call str to, how is it called? To uppercase. Okay, so now I should just have English or French like this. Good. And now I want to make this inside a proper split drop down that does not look too cringy. So let's use the power of Flexbox for that. So how was my class? How was my class called? So it was report localized input. So let's do this here. Display flex input flex. I can use form control. Flex grow 1. Yeah, the power of flex. It's almost too easy with Flexbox. So yeah, now I have my split drop down. Now it's just not clear that it belongs to that input. So problem is that the fields in Flarum don't really look like fields. Like you don't even really know that this is a field because you can see the button and the fields, they have the exact same look. So what I will do, I will probably change the style of the fields. Because here, can I do just... So can I just change the background? How is it called? Just want to set, so body, background. So I will set my input as the same color as the body. Okay, but now I no longer have anything on the side, so there is an input control BG. Yeah, okay, so that's, so next I want to use that one. I want to do border color like this. Does it look like something? Oh, now I lost. Now I no longer have the blue color when hovering. I still want the normal color. Form control. So hover. So I will copy this. The problem here is that because I want to change the default color, now my specificity is 2 levels deep, or maybe it's even 3. So now the problem is that my own code for the default state has become more specific than the code for the focus state of Flarum. So now I need to redefine the focus state as well. Just need to set the border color. Everything else is fine. Specificity. Yes. How learn English by coding CSS. There are some words that are so complicated. Okay, so now I again have the correct color. Good, and now I just want to make this look like one input. So how does it look without the special class? Because here I have button and button link. So I will remove button link. Okay, so I will keep it like that. Now, what I need to do? So, oh, does it have another class that I can target? This stuff, it's called... Oh, but there is a button group, but I don't know if I can put... No, I cannot. It's probably not a good idea. So I will just target the drop down. So I will use the same background as here. Next, let's see. Do I need to add a border? My code is not specific enough, I guess. Oh no, the button is inside. Okay, so now the button also needs a border color. I might need to specify, need to specify the same border. So what is the border? 2 pixel solid. So let's do it like this. Okay. It's a mess. It's a mess. It does not have the same width. Let's try to make this work anyway. What can I do? I need to fix the border radius So border radius at border radius. So I never know where it starts. So I think top left first. So can I do it like this? I think yes. So now I just need to do the opposite here. So 0 and 0. Okay. And I can remove one of the borders here. Okay, no, it's not too bad actually. Now I just need the two to have the same height. So I think the input has a specific height. It has 36 pixels. So I just need the split button to also be 36 pixels. So height 36 pixels to match with form control. Good, and now I just need to maybe change the padding a bit so that it does not, so that it's kind of centered. So input padding, does it have padding? Yeah, so padding. Can be a bit bigger. We will soon be back to the original. The default is 8, so yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, let's go back to normal zoom to see how it looks like. I think it's not too bad. So here we have the key, and here we have the label, and we can switch the language. Not too bad. Yeah, and each label is inside is. Oh no, it's not aligned. Oh no, oh no. You can see the English. The English drop down and French drop down does not have the same width because the letters is not the same. So I will set a minimum width just so that it looks not too bad. So what is the width at this time? It's 60. So let's set 70 pixels width. Like this. Of course, it will probably break because some language have more. Actually, I don't know if I have it installed. I might have the Portuguese. No, it's not. No, I don't have it anymore. For example, the Portuguese language pack, I know it has the Portuguese Portugal is the PT underscore PT. So this one, if there is one like that, it will be longer. So that's not a problem. It will just expand. But at least now all these ones have the same width. All good. Okay, so it has taken quite a lot of time. Now we will, so I will not have time to do everything I wanted. I don't know when I will continue. I will do a bit more now. I will just, so I will implement the reasons. I will load the reasons in the front end, and I will add validation. That's what I will do tonight. But I will not have time to do the other things. I don't know if I do it next week on Sunday. Probably I will continue that next week because I might not have time to do it during the week anyway. So let's just finish by implementing those reasons. So yeah, how to make, so we will basically do the same as Flarum for now. So we will have off topic, and we will have spam. And this one will be called off topic, and in French, hors sujet, and spam will be let's call it like this, so that the text is a bit different. Spam publicité, like this. And we save that. So now, yeah, it's saved. And we will show that in the front end now. So when we open this modal, we want to have something that looks a lot like this. Actually, we might need to implement the description at some time, but this will be for another update. So let's try to implement that. So first, we need to be able to access this information, because by default, we cannot access the settings. So what we will do, we will use, oh, this might actually be the first time that I use a new extender for that, because there is an extender just for that use case. New extend settings, and I don't even know how it works, but we will find. So there is just one function, it's called serialized to forum, and we can go and read the documentation. Serialize the setting value to the forum serializer attributes. The name to be used in the forum serializer attributes array, the key of the settings, and a callback to modify the value. So this is exactly what we need. So how will we call it? That's kind of the big question. So I already know the name. The key of the setting is Clark report.post.reasons. For now, I will just call it reasons, but it's not a very good name to use in the public version, because there might be conflicts with something else. And even myself, maybe I can just call it let's call it report post reason for now. And if I just do that, let's see what happens. So now I think it will be available. Is it in app.data? No, it's not that. No, it's in app.forum. So now in app.forum, data, and here I automatically have, if I go to attributes, report post reasons, and automatically you see it took my value from the settings. What I will do, I will parse it to JSON, and I will actually parse it to JSON here in the backend. So I can add a function. This is an optional parameter, and if I look at the documentation again, it's a callable optional callback to modify the value. It does not tell what the parameters will be, but I'm assuming it will just be value. Okay, and value, so if, no, I don't even need to check if it's JSON. I can just return JSON decode value, and I will decode it as associative array, like this. Because even if value is null, this is fine. JSON decode will return null if if the data is invalid anyway. So you can just do it like this, and now app.forum.attribute, how is it called? Report post reasons, you can check. And now it has been already parsed for me. So yeah, all good. Now let's use that value in the modal. So like this. Okay, so let's go back to reports. Yeah. Okay, so now I can just use the same code. So this is how I access the value. So what I will do here is put the value in there, and if it's not an array, or maybe like if there is no value, we will just default to an empty array. That way here we can safely loop on it, so we can do map. And next we want a form group for every option. Inside of each one will be a label. Yes, like this. Inside of the label we will have an input of type radio. And then the label will be, we need to access the current language, like this. And we will read the value from reason current local, like this. And that's pretty much it. Next, so let's see if it works. Next we need to sync, we need to do the two-way binding. So report post. Yes, but we can select multiple ones because I have not the binding. So now I can add this dot reason, which will be null by default. Next, so select, I think it's called selected or checked. I can do something like this. I think something like this to show if it's selected, and then on change we do the two-way binding. Let's try that. Report post. No, that's not working. It might be checked. Okay, it's checked like this. Okay, and now we can just send this together. So reason, this.reason, and we send it to the API. And on the backend, can just add a reason and read it here. Let's try that. So if I do off topic, submit, and I'm no longer connected. Let me go back to phpMyAdmin. Reports. So, yeah, so this is the page. So it's not there, but I think there is a new page. No, 1 to 15. It does not seem to save. Oh yes, is it this one? It must be this one, but reason was not saved. Let's see what was sent in the network tab. So reports, request, Oh, was my JavaScript not up to date? Did I forget to refresh? So spam, and I will write spam here as well, just to check. So now let's refresh this. Okay, it's working. So now reason is spam lowercase, which is the key of that option, and comment is spam with uppercase. All right, let's just add a little bit of validation. So how can I do the validation for this? So I need a validator. I could use the Flarum validator, or I could use my own Laravel validator. I think I will use my own Laravel validator because I need to do some custom stuff. So to do that, let's just check the abstract validator from Flarum, because I always check here to see how it creates the factory. Yeah, I will need the factory, I guess. Yeah, I will use that. So I need the validator factory. Let's copy this. Next, I will add a constructor here. I will resolve the factory. Then I can have protected validator. This validator is a validator, like this. And then here I will create a validator. So this validator make, and so this is where I have some stuff to do. So I will actually put all the attributes inside of a single array. So just read all the attributes like this. Yeah, we'll do it like this. Next, I make a validator using those attributes, and then I think I need to pass the rules. Yes. Okay, and rules. So that's where, so I will do another array with the rules, and the rules, there will be comment. So comment is, for now, it will be required, but I will customize that a bit later. Required string max 255. And now that's where we have some interesting stuff. So reason needs to be one of the stuff that's inside of the column in the settings. So we will need access to the settings. So here we use settings, repository interface. Next we save that to settings, like this. And now that we have access to settings, we can pull the settings here. So posts reasons, this.settings get, and the key, I will copy it from extend here. I had, so these were my settings, and I will actually directly do JSON decode on that value. And then here I will have required. What I will do, I will do that, and I will have a rule in, and the list of values that are allowed will be array pluck, and here we will have post reasons and key. So if you are not familiar with that code, the array object is something from Laravel, and it has some helper methods. And pluck is a very nice method because in my post reasons, each of the reason will have a key attribute. So instead of having to do the map myself, I can just take that array and take all the values at the key actually, take all the key values from that array and return me a new array. And that's just what this does. And then rule in is a way to define, instead of doing in, comma, in column, and then having everything separated by commas, can just have it like this. It's easier to build the rule in Laravel. There are a few helpers on the rule object that help make those few requests where, in particular, I don't want to just inject some stuff inside of a string like this, because then you might have injection of additional rules that you don't want. So this way it's safe. Yeah, and then we have subject type. So type, for now, I will only accept posts. And subject ID, that's where it's a bit more complicated. I might skip it for now. No, I can do it. So later we will need to rework this because it needs to work with different kind of information. But here we can also use so that's not correct. So this one is required, and for now it has to be in posts, but basically, so it has to be that particular value. There is no other choice. And this one, subject ID, will be required, and we will use another helper here. We will use exists, and we will say that it needs to exist on the posts table. And then Laravel will automatically know that it needs to look, I don't know if it looks automatically for the ID. No, it might use the name. So I will say that it needs to check in posts to check if there is an ID that has that value, and then it accepts. But that's not very good either, because so let's add some to-dos so you know what I'm doing. So to-do, this one needs to support other types, and this one to-do, do not expose private posts, because right now you could use this capability to know if a particular post exists. It's not very bad because you can only check one ID to know if it exists, and because the IDs are sequential, you can guess that it exists already. So yeah, but I don't want, so I want in the final version, I only want you to be able to report stuff that you can actually see. I don't want the API to return different kind of information. And yeah, it also makes no sense to start sending reports for posts you cannot see. So yeah, that's good like this. Yeah, and here we can also add another test, actually. Another to-do, I mean, to-do permission to allow guest, because in the final version we don't want anyone to be able to report, we want a permission, and potentially you don't want guests to be able to report, but right now guests can use the feature. So yeah, and now I just need to change this. I mean, I don't absolutely need to, but it's best if I do. I can just reuse this and simplify. Like this. So now let's test that. So, didn't want to close it. Okay, let's try to submit a report. Let's go back to this. Okay, so try to submit with nothing, and it works. Probably because it accepts an empty string. I did not specify I wanted one character here, so yeah, okay, that's good. Let's let that pass. Okay, and then that. Okay, so all good. Let's just try to do some tinkering. So if I try to send something for discussions, for example, as the type. I'm not running my validator. That's why it will not work. It will be better if I run the validator. Let's try that again. So maybe we cannot actually... Oh, okay, okay. That's better. Yeah, so I do that, now it goes. Okay. And now if I try to send something for discussions as a type, I get an error. Selected subject type is invalid. Okay, and now if I modify and if I try to send a reason, that's invalid. Okay, I also have the reason is invalid, good. And if I try to send a subject ID that does not exist, the selected subject ID is invalid. All good. So now we have some minimal validation. Yeah. So this will be the end of the features we do today. So if we go back to my little list of stuff that need to be done, report posts and user. Oh yeah, so we didn't manage to do the users part yet, so this will be for next time. Customizable reasons, that's done, but I have not done the option to have the other key. I mean, you can create other, but I want other to be one that's already translated, an option. Yeah, translatable reason, that's done. User comments, yeah, that's kind of done. There is not a lot of validation on it, but you can enter a comment. This was not done. This, we made the database ready for it, but we don't have the interface for moderators yet. And extendable, yeah, we have not studied that yet. Secondary requirements, yeah, that will be for other times. Yeah, since we have not finished with the main requirements yet. Okay, I see we just jumped back to 3 people online, but yeah, you joined just for the closing comments. So yeah, that's what we did today. So it looks like this. It's not very impressive. It does not have all the features yet. There is no way for moderators to see the reports that were created, but yeah, all of that will come. I guess we will do that next week because I don't have any other plan for next week. And I will not have time to work on that outside of the live streams anyway, so it will be the subject of next live stream, I guess. Let me know if you like... I will switch back to the big camera. Yeah, let me know what you think of the time. Like I see sometimes people join later. I don't know if that's because it does not work for you earlier, or maybe you just notice too late. So let me know if you prefer I do the live stream earlier or later. So I can adapt because there are so few people watching. I can adjust for you if you want to be able to join live. Yeah, you can leave me suggestions as always. You can leave them on the forum or in the comments of those videos, and I will see what I can do. For now, I continue to do just live streams, but I still hope to do proper tutorials at some point, but that's probably not before Flarum stable. Okay, so yeah, I don't see a lot of activity in the chat, so I will just end here. So yeah, if you can support, you can donate. It's welcome, but you don't have to, of course. I will continue to do this from time to time, and yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.